Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 509, December 18th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. And welcome to Ham Nation. I am Josh Nass, KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for clicking on the Ham Radio Crash Course, now the host and home of Ham Nation. Again, thanks for coming out. We do have a busy show and we've got lots to talk about, so we're pulling the host in real fast. Let's get started. Val's back, everybody. Hey, Val, how you doing? We'll start with you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. As you can see from my background, I'm at my Florida QTH, enjoying the wonderful weather down here and doing some work on the house. Husbandless for 30 days. Soon he'll be joining me.
Right on.
But yeah, I've got a great show for you guys tonight. COVID's, on the run, and so Dxpeditions are coming back, and we've got a doozy for you, so you're going to want to stick around to learn about this big, huge Dxpedition coming up.
Awesome. All right, and Don, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you very much. We've got a great report tonight from Amateur Radio Newsline, as always. Best crew in the world, and unfortunately, Dr. T is taking the night off. She's got a big science exposition that she's getting ready for, so she will not be with us tonight, but you can, of course, check her out on Twitter and on spaceweatherwoman.com at Tamitha Cove, and you'll find out everything you need to know about what's going on with the sun.
She's always up to something science-y.
Yes, she is. She's smart like that. She got brains.
That's right. Amanda, good to see you again. How are you doing?
I did fantastic. And first, I'd just like to say I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know we did, finally, after some plumbing issues during the show, I think.
Yes, that's right. You had to hop off for a little bit there at the end.
Yes, we did. When Cousin Eddie's, dumping his RV.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The something's
Imagine
full.
the
Yes,
term,
yeah.
yes.
The something is full.
Exactly what it was. Fun times. Anyhow, stick around because Santa's also coming to town here, and we're going to tell you how maybe you can get your children, grandchildren, or yourself, if you're young enough, maybe, to give your wish list right on the air to Santa.
Let's remind everybody, too, we're watching the chat, so if you at myself, Ham Radio Crash Course, or Amanda in the chat for any of the questions as we're live, we'll try and take them as we get them. So we're throwing it to Valerie first. Valerie, what's going on?
Well, those of you might have remembered, my husband was part of a Dxpedition that attempted to go to Bouvet, and it was unsuccessful. But a new team is gonna give it a shot, and man, I hope they're gonna do good. I have one of the team leaders, Ken, on with us tonight, as well as one of the team members, Adrian. Welcome, Adrian and Ken.
Hello, good evening from New York.
Thank you. And thank you, Ken, especially. I know it's 3 a.m. where you are, so I appreciate you coming on in the middle of the night. So why don't you guys tell everybody about the main stuff with Bouvet, the call sign, when are you guys leaving, and we have some photos for you guys. So why don't you get it started for us?
Yeah, the call sign is 3 Yankee 0 Juliet, so that's a really nice call sign, and the Dxpedition is scheduled for November 2022, so that's actually less than 1 year. In less than 1 year, we will be on the island. We'll look forward to it.
And you have how many team members coming with you right now? You're up to?
In total, we will be 13 operators.
That's a lot.
A great team, yeah. Really, it's an international team. We have a lot of U.S. operators, also some European. So a true international project this is.
And you just came back from a Dxpedition yourself. Where were you?
I was in Central African Republic. That's in Africa, of course, and it's a kind of different place, a really hot place for me. I live in Norway, and I'm kind of used to cold weather. And going down there is like 30 centigrade, so it's gonna be kind of different on Bouvet. Bouvet is gonna be really cold, a lot of wind, and gonna sleep in a tent and all that kind of stuff. In Africa, I was in a hotel, nice hotel, so it's gonna be totally different place. Yeah.
So why don't we start with the slides, and you guys can kind of tell everybody about what's going on with Bouvet, so you guys can keep up to date. So there's the official website if you guys want to go to 3y0j.com or .no. Either one, Oscar, either one will get you there. And that's the website. It's a great website. It is beautiful. So why don't you kind of show where I think the first slide kind of shows where Bouvet is located. And for those of you who may have missed it before, it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere, down in the Antarctic region, I think is where they call it. So if you guys want to start talking, and I'll let you have at it.
So basically, Bouvet, it's a small little island, is maybe half the size of Manhattan, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Even if you have a chart or a map to look at it, it's so small you will probably miss it, and most maps out there don't have it. We created this slide to give you an idea of how far it is from civilization. It's you can see the distances there, tens of thousands of kilometers or miles from any civilized place. As a matter of fact, the Bouvet Island, which is actually a Norwegian territory, is according to the books of records, is the most uninhabited island on Earth. So basically, you can't go farther than Bouvet when it comes to seeing no people. It's a small island, and it's not inhabited. It's covered almost entirely by ice, and the only inhabitants are just penguins and fur seals. So pretty much, yep.
Let's go to the next one. There you go. Yeah.
So it's
a nice sheet.
Yeah, it's exactly an ice sheet. Yeah, that's true. It was discovered in the 1700s, but became a Norwegian territory in like 1927 when Norwegians first landed on the island. It's pretty much flat, but it does have a peak of 780 meters. That's about, I would say, 1,600 feet more or less, or 2,000 feet, I should say. It's one of the 4 DX entities that belong to Norway. The other ones will be Peter Island, Jan Mayen, and Svalbard. But out of all DX entities, this one gained the recognition as being the second most rarest after P5 North Korea. So it's very hard to get there, and so that's why it's very rare for us ham operators. And one of the things
I need it for an all-time new one. So I know there's a lot of people out there watching that need this one.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's why it's number 2. I need it as well, and I think Ken needs it as well.
Yeah, I also need it.
So that's
all right. Next slide, I think. There we go.
Well,
that's a beautiful vessel.
Okay, we're gonna get there by using this vessel. It's an oceanic sailing catch. It's about 100 feet long. And what's special about this boat is that this boat spent the last 12 years in a cold weather. Basically, it's taking tourists as well as scientists in a cold weather areas, and so the crew is very experienced at this type of climate, and we have full confidence that they're able to take us safely to Bouvet. It's quite a trip. We'll probably be starting our trip from Falkland Islands, and depending on the wind, will take us about 10 to 15 days to get to Bouvet. And once on Bouvet, the plan is to stay there about 20 days, I guess, depending on the weather. And after that, another 10 to 15 days to our final destination, which is Cape Town, South Africa. And this is trip is designed this way because the wind is always blowing from the west to the east. That's way pushing the vessel towards, always pushing the vessel, helping us get to the destination faster. The boat name is Marama. And this is the map of Bouvet, and there with the little red sign, it shows the place where we're going to be landing. We're going to be landing by Zodiac, which is basically a rubber boat, and at that bottom corner is a beach where we're going to be, like I said, landing from our vessel Marama. There's
Is
a
that
weather.
the same beach all the researchers land on too? You're in that same beach?
No,
They are on the
Oh.
west coast. Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we
that.
did.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just we did a screening of the places to do the landing in Bouvet, and when you see the photos later on, you will see that it's quite difficult, and there are actually, if you want to set up a camp, there is actually only one safe place to stay, and that is at Cape Fear. The researchers from the Norwegian Polar Institute, they are on the northwestern part of the island.
Okay.
And they have a base there.
Okay.
They have a weather station they try to visit every 4 and 5 years.
Yeah, that's where I've seen all the videos from that. Yeah. So, but this looks like a nice landing site. Lot less ice. You know.
Yes, that's actually a very recent picture of our landing site, Cape Fear. As you can see, the ice receded. So, there's a pretty good size of an area where we're going to be actually putting camp. This is a nice view from afar that gives you a kind of an idea where we're going to be landing and setting up camp.
Yeah, this
right.
actually photo is from 2017, the previous photo, and what we have done is that we have collected videos and photos from 2008, 2014, 17, and 18. So what we see is that actually the terrain is in a way changing, and hopefully by the time we arrive in 2022, it will be a glacier will have retreated even more.
And you're going there, kind of going into their summer, too. So
Yeah,
November.
that's the plan to go in the summer.
Yeah.
So this photo you show now is actually from a different place. It's not from Cape Fear, but this is one of the Norwegian Polar Institute's photos, and you can see how crowded these beaches are with seals. This is taken from the southwestern part of the island called Cape Norvegia, and actually they do kind of cruising ships go to Bouvet and they drop off the tourists into this beach for a few hours. But we discussed this site with Norwegian Polar Institute, but there is a high risk of falling rocks, falling ice. So it's quite dangerous to set up a camp on this beach. It would be just impossible. So by doing this screening process together with NPI, we realized that Cape Fear is the only place to stay.
And how are you going to get up there? I mean, do you need climbing gear, or you can just get up there normal?
Yeah, if you actually look at this photo, you will see that there are actually penguins going from the sea.
So you're going to be down there. Okay.
And it's actually, so it's possible actually for penguins to come up to the cliff, but we have identified actually 3 routes to the top, and we need to probably do the climbing. It's the height of the cliff is roughly 30 feet or 10 meter, and we prepare for this climbing. We are doing courses together with instructors. So some of the team members, they will be certified climbers by next summer. So we do all we can to prepare for this, and for sure we will get up this cliff.
Very good. And I like the little tents you drew in there and the antennas.
Well, it kind of gives you a perspective of where we're going to be staying. So basically, we're going to avoid staying on a beach because of the wildlife. And then the goal is to go up that cliff, which is not too high. Like Ken mentioned, it's about 10 meters. And this way it's protected and better for the antennas. They gain extra height. So, that's basically how it's going to look like 11
because
months
this
from
is
now.
actually how it started. We started, looking at photos from Bouvet, and we started to actually draw antennas on this. And then, as you did this drawing, you actually got inspired, and you got the idea that okay, you really want to go to Bouvet. So I think actually this is how it all started 18 months ago.
Now, are all 30 of you guys going to go up on there at once, or is you going to do 15 on, 15 off, and rotate?
We're going to be everybody's going to be on the island at the same time. So yeah, that's the plan. We plan to drop off all the team members, go up, set up the camp, and then going to be back on the vessel. So we're not going to stay on the vessel during the expedition.
And is the vessel going to stay there as well while you're there? Or is it going off to do something and coming back?
No. The vessel will stay very close to the shore. It's one of the conditions, I think, that Norwegian Polar Institute imposed on us, where for safety reasons, the boat is always going to be there. And just to be clear, we are 13 operators, not 30. 13.
Oh, 13. Okay.
13, yes.
That's a lot of.
Yes.
Okay, much better. Okay.
The landing on Bouvet, it's not very easy. So to increase safety, we will not leave the island. So basically, we land everyone on the island, including the equipment, food, and everything that we need for double the time that we're planning to be there. And then once everything is done, then everybody's coming out of the island, taking everything out back to the boat. But the Marama would always stay close to shore, obviously for safety reasons and.
Hopefully we can get the warm meal as well. If it's good weather conditions, they will come ashore with a good warm meal. That's the dream.
That'd be nice. Otherwise, you're fishing.
Yeah, eating seals.
This is great. Now, the West Coast, is it going to be hard to get? I mean, how high is it? Is the rock in your way getting to the West Coast? Do you know?
You mean the mountain?
Yeah. Are you going to have trouble getting to the West Coast?
No. So we have done a lot of analysis on this, and it's not going to be an issue. We just released some information on our website, and the propagation is predicted really good all over the world. Our signals will be like S7 to 8, so the mountain is not going to impact the signal strength at all. There's going to be really good signals all over the world for sure. We have done HFTA analysis together with the world leading propagation analyst, and we're quite confident with these kind of simulations we've done.
Very good.
Well, that makes me happy in the West Coast.
Yeah,
of course.
So the West Coast is actually maybe a little bit better because you're going clear off the cliff.
I'm liking it even more. Thank you for that.
How about we meet here a year from now, and then we remind you that we just gave you an all new time one. How about that?
I like it. Sounds good.
I've been sitting on this same number of DX entities worked for a long time. I need a couple of new ones, so this will be nice. So that landing though was where the research area was, where you were showing earlier. This is not where you're landing. This
photo is also an exclusive photo we got from NPI. NPI, the Norwegian Polar Institute, shared a lot of information with us. They shared all the weather statistics they have. They shared a lot of photos they have. And this is taken from the first landing. This island is called Nass Island. It's actually on the southwestern part of the island, and it's one of the first landing they did in 1927. As we see, quite simple kind of protection they have. So yeah, kind of different conditions how you need to plan project today compared to 1927.
Yeah, so basically we will not be using helicopters to land on the island. We're going to be using, like I said, just Zodiacs, just like it's been done for, hundreds of years. Yeah. And this picture basically proves that it is possible. And don't forget that the ice actually receded more. So in a way, conditions are a bit better than they were in 1927.
And I mean, obviously, you're going at a good time for radio conditions as well. So your timing.
Yes, the SFI.
10's open, and it's getting good.
Yes, that's and obviously a year from now it's going to be even better than today. So Ken, why don't you talk about this picture? This is very.
I love this photo. This is really a good photo. This is taken from the first activation from Bouvet in 1977. And you see this is also from a beach close to Cape Verde where we're going to land. So we're going to land on this exact same beach 45 years later. This is two Norwegian guys. They were employees of Norwegian Polar Institute. And mostly they were doing a lot of research work, but they also had the opportunity to do a Zodiac landing on Cape Verde. And they run this low power station, dipole, and I think they made roughly 30 QSOs. You can see they worked, Japan and even Whiskey 6 India Delta on the West Coast. So we know for sure that from this place we can make contacts with the West Coast and US. It's a really nice photo.
That is.
Okay. Ken, you want to take this one?
Oh, you can go ahead, Adrian.
Okay. So basically, to give you excellent signals, we're going to be using lots of antennas. And this antenna farm that we list there, I'm not going to go over the whole list. I don't want to be too boring. But the idea is very simple. We're basically going to have beams pointing in 3 different directions, Asia, Europe, and North America in the same time. So each beam are designed with no traps, and that allows us to use triplexers. So basically, you'll have 3 stations using the same antenna, and we have the 3 different identical antennas pointing in 3 different directions. So when 20 meters opens or 10 meters opens, you know that we're going to have exactly signals in all continents, giving you a chance to make a QSO. Our goal is to bring 12 stations and make about 200,000 QSOs, and we believe that this is possible with the setup that we're having there. We're actually working with different vendors to set up our equipment. Remember that you can't just take an antenna off the shelf and take it to Bouvet. And the main reason being is that Bouvet has or is known to have at least 300 storms a year in average, which means that more or less we're going to get at least 1 storm while we're there. So our antenna vendors, one of them is Enov, and they are designing where they're taking the off-the-shelf antennas and make them redesign them to sustain heavy weather conditions, to allow us to make sure that antennas will stay up a long time, and we will be focusing on making QSOs instead of repairs. So we'll have vertical antennas and for different bands, and we'll also have a lot of backup antennas. No details is left untouched. So basically, we'll be starting pile-ups the moment we land on the island. One of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to get in the air quickly with 1 antenna and then bring and install more, and this way we'll continue to be on the air for the whole time we're on the island.
Now, are you going to do all, I know you're probably going to do CW and phone. Are you going to do RIDI or FT8? What digital modes are you going to do?
Yeah, we're going to be doing both FT8 and RIDI. We're going to be focusing on human modes, CW and SSB, but we're definitely going to be spending time on FT8, giving a chance to the people that hams that just have a wire in an attic to make at least 1 contact with us. Actually, while he was in Africa a couple of months ago, Ken tested a new setup where operators will be able to do human modes, SSB or CW, and at the same time have a window open on their computer and also run FTA pile-ups. So every operator will have a chance to multiply.
Working 2 at once, SO2R.
Exactly, SO2R, exactly. That's
it just
the goal.
makes it much more fun to operate. You can operate CW easily, and then you just have this Fox and Ham open, and you just work the FT8 pilots. Quite fun.
That's very good. And you're going to be there, just over 3 weeks? Is that right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
contract states actually a minimum 22 days. So that's in a contract. So we're going to be at least 22 days around the island for sure.
Okay. And was that the last of the slides? There we go. There's your budget. Yeah, we got to see that.
All right. Well, this is an expensive trip. It's actually, if we land on Bouvet, and I'm sure we'll do, this will be the most expensive Dxpedition ever, with a budget of $650,000. It's a lot of money, and each operator will contribute about $20,000 towards the expedition budget. And as the rule goes, the rest of the money usually comes from clubs and organizations around the world. And as a matter of fact, the NCDXF awarded us $100,000 towards the budget of the expedition, and Indexa gave us the largest donation ever of $15,000. They definitely are trustworthy that we'll be able to get this project done and bring a new one to many hams around the world. We just want to mention that most of this money, more or less about $550,000, will go towards the boat and its crew and the expenses associated with us getting onto the island. So basically, transportation is taking or chewing most of this money, and this type of the expeditions can't possibly happen if we actually have to buy all the equipment and gear that we need to get there. So because of that, a lot of equipment and corporate sponsors joined our effort to make the expedition a success. And you know, some of them are mentioned there. DX Engineering, which is always present on all of the expeditions. Antenna and Wemo, which gives us the beam, as one of our main sponsors. 4 Oscar 3 Alpha gives us the filters and duplexers and triplexers, and Spider Beam will provide equipment that will allow us low band activations. Silcom is giving us some incredible masts that will withstand the harsh conditions on the island. The Italian firm Messi and Poloni will give us coaxial cable. And we can go on and on.
What radios are you? What radios are you bringing?
We're actually still evaluating. We have a few vendors that offered their equipment, and we're still evaluating because there's a trade-off always between performance, weight, and the ability for us to have the radio performing enough for all the bands and our exports and so forth. So basically, we're still in the process of evaluating. I think our
plan
deadline.
To release the information maybe next month. We will tell what kind of radios and amps we will use.
Are you guys going to have like a beacon or something where you're going to do log uploads while you're on the island?
We're because Bouvet is so far away from civilization, it's very far away from the coverage of the normal, should say, satellite coverage. So the Starlink, which is just this new startup that has incredible speeds of the internet, said to us they're in the process of covering Bouvet, but they don't know if we'll be able to have internet access to them. And so our fallback solution is through Big Am Inmarsat, which have a lower speed, which means that we will definitely upload logs. We'll be still trying to figure out a way to see if we can do live QSOs.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we've used up a lot of time, but it was very interesting, and we haven't had a good Dxpedition in a long time, so. Thank you, everybody, for indulging us for a long segment here. I'm sure Amanda has a bunch of questions for you guys. So, hey, I wanted to just say one thing, too. They said 650,000, 550 of that you said was for the boat. They need to pay for that before they leave. So if you guys are going to work them for an all-time new one and send them, $20 after the fact, that's great too, but they really can use the money up front. So if you can go to the 3Y0J website and donate now, that really helps these guys out, because there's so much upfront money when these expeditions come on. So even every little bit help. If everybody gets together and does $5, that will really help pay for the boat. So anyway, Amanda, do you have any questions for these guys?
Oh, yes, I do. Tons. So Adrian, I'll start with you first. Someone wanted to know, what about pilot stations? Is that still going to be viable for Bouvet?
Definitely. We have pilot stations on all 4 continents, and they will be the ones being in close touch with us. We have actually we'll be in touch with them through satellite. There's a new vendor that we're going to be announcing soon that will provide satellite phone service that will allow us to keep in touch with the pilots, who will take questions from the hammers around the world and allow us to adjust based on the requirements and pileups and so forth.
Very good. And real quick, Val, do you mind? Some people don't know what pilot stations are, and you were once one yourself. Do you mind explaining what they do?
You're kind of the communication between the on-island team and the ham world. So any information you get from the team, you send it out to all the DX World and DX Coffee, and Daily DX, and you kind of get the news out. And then as people have questions for the team, we kind of go through that, and any issues, say they're missing openings on 12 meters to, Japan, stuff like that. And so you're kind of the go-between, and you filter things out, and then you give them, reports every day, and it's really a good idea because there's so many questions. So it's nice that everybody gets their questions answered and stuff. So you usually have them throughout the world,
Absolutely.
One here and one there. Yeah.
Kind of like PIO officers. So, okay, now we got to talk about the weather. And first I have to go back to that. The 2 fellow Norwegians were out on the island outside, and they didn't even have their jackets buttoned up. I couldn't believe it. They are tough as nails. So how cold is it actually? How cold does it get there? I mean, is it just the cold, or is it also a wind factor that makes this extremely frigid and
It's definitely
unbearable?
the wind. Definitely the wind. I mean, the temperature is maybe around -2 to +2 centigrades. That's roughly, I guess, 30 Fahrenheit. But
Freezing
definitely it's
point.
the wind. Yeah, freezing point. And the wind can be like, easily 20, 25 meters per second. Roughly, I guess, 50 miles per hour.
Okay. And
they do get earthquakes there. I remember watching a lot of that
Yeah.
when Jerry's team was heading that way.
so just one more thing to try to kill you while you're out there. Got it. Also, AJ wanted to know, are you guys going to be broadcasting or operating from the vessel this time around, maybe giving out some maritime mobile contacts on your way there?
There is a plan for that. So that, of course, also depends, because it's a sailboat. Maybe people get a little bit seasick. So let's see how much operation it will be.
And then will you have APRS on the boat so we can track your journey?
Yeah, I hope so.
Definitely, yes. Definitely. I'll have mine.
Any
I'm
other
still-
questions, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm still curious on how APRS gets picked up out there in the middle of nowhere. But we answered a couple of these already that were in there. How much food do you bring with you? What's your diet like? Is this a bread and beans kind of situation?
A lot of rice.
A lot of rice.
Yeah.
Uh,
So basically because we have to be self-sufficient on the island, and bringing a lot of supplies, it's not possible. Remember, we have to bring all the supplies from the boat and then carry them up that cliff where we'll be setting up camp. So we are limited of the amount of food there that we can bring. So most likely our main meals will be MRI type, military style, where you put some hot water into a bowl and that creates a food for the day.
Yeah.
We'll try to be as varied as possible. There's actually a sub team that it's in charge of making the menus and trying to figure out what's the best approach with the food. But more or less, we're limited. We can't, bring too many supplies. Remember that fresh food is not really possible because it will take us 10 to 15 days to get there. So,
Well, I heard penguin tastes like chicken.
That
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I actually see it in chat too, and never mind. All right, let's go back to another technical question. Your vertical antenna, someone was wanting to know what verticals, what brand are you going to be using, and are they trapped?
So we're going to use two kind of vertical antennas. We're going to use the aluminium antennas from DX Engineering on the low bands, but we're also going to use spider poles from spider beams, and there are no traps on these antennas. So on like going to have full size verticals on 160 is going to be a top loaded, roughly 21 meter antenna.
Very good.
And what was the one for 160? I know there's a lot of 160 people.
We're going to
out there
use the spider pole antenna, and also we have a lot of backups with us, always backups, and we're going to have an aluminium antenna with us.
And you're going to have some kind of beverage or something for 160?
We have for the receiving antenna, we will have a loop antenna from LZ1AQ.
Okay.
Wow. And this, and I have run out of questions except for the most important one, and I'm going to give you both the opportunity to answer this. So I'll go to Ken first. But what is your best advice for anyone trying to get you guys in the logs?
Take a vacation and stay there for 3 weeks.
Okay, Adrian, what about you?
Well, be smart instead of being pushy, which means follow what the operators is asking. If they say up to or up or down, follow those instructions, and then follow their patterns. If you see that, if you see their pattern of how they're transmitting, you can easily be the next one in the loop. If you're just transmitting from, on top of the others, obviously you're minimizing your chances. So follow the operators. That's the key.
Can we say
follow their
listen?
patterns.
Can we say listen, listen, and listen more?
That's true.
Yeah.
The DX code of conduct that applies. You follow that, you're in the log in the first day.
And if you've
Valerie?
only got 100 watts in a wire, don't even try on the first day.
Uh,
I would say.
Never say never, I am confident, at least from my experience, the operators that get in the log are the best operators, not necessarily the ones with the kilowatts.
If you find that little crack in the
Exactly.
you probably have a 15 kilohertz window,
Remember-
listening up 5 to 30.
I remember
Remember,
Navassa pilot was like 40 kilohertz, and it was really difficult, to find where they were listening.
That brings up a good question, actually. I think this might be the last one then. Are you guys starting out on the extra portions, at least on the first day, and then moving up, or how are you have you thought about that?
A lot of them do that to thin the pile up.
Yeah.
We're going to listen for, all kind of frequencies also for the technicians. Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for staying up until it's probably 4 a.m. now or 4:30 there. So we appreciate it. And Val,
Everybody donate, even a little bit. Every little bit helps. They could really use your help funding wise. So, and this is going to be a big one.
Yes,
Hopefully.
it's going to be a big one. Thank you for
I hope
having
you guys
us.
stay
And
safe and everybody's safe. That one scares me. That island scares me. So I'm going to be praying for you guys.
thank you. Thank you for having
you.
us, and please support us.
Absolutely. And
73.
happy holidays.
Thank you. See you in the
Same to you.
pile-ups.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, bye.
And I just want to really quickly mention there's some contests coming up. 10 meter contest is this weekend. And if you guys haven't been on the air lately, 10 meters has been hot. It's really easing up the bands during contest weekends, which is great. And all you techs out there, you can operate on 10 meters. So get on the air this weekend on 10, and you'll be surprised how much fun you can have and how many countries you can get. So back to you, Josh. That's all we've got for tonight.
All right. Let's throw it to ICOM. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Happy holidays from ICOM. This season, spice up your ham shack with ICOM's IC705 Portable or the now shipping new ID52A handheld. These radios are perfect for staying in or venturing out and working your favorite bands this winter season. The IC705 is the perfect sidekick and QRP companion. Base station features and functionalities at the tips of your fingers and a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in at just over 2 pounds with RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. 4.3-inch color touchscreen with live band scope and waterfall, 5 watts with battery pack BP272, or 10 watts with external 13.8 volt DC, single sideband CW, AM, FM, as well as full D-Star functions, micro USB connector, Bluetooth, and wireless LAN connectivity, integrated GPS with antenna and GPS logger, micro SD card slot, included HM243 speaker microphone, and it supports QRP and QRPP operations. ID52A is now shipping. ICOM's newest handheld amateur radio is a VHF-UHF dual bander with D-Star and FM dual mode functions. This radio supports conventional FM communications and D-Star simplex, repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. The ID52A is the first handheld amateur radio with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display and the ability to send photos over D-Star with a connected Android device. Other features include wideband receiver with guaranteed range of 144 to 148 and 440 to 450 megahertz. Simultaneously receive VHF-VHF, UHF-UHF, VHF-UHF with dual DV mode. Integrated GPS GLONASS receiver including grid square location, micro SD card slot, micro USB port for data transfer, programming, and charging, and it meets IPX7 waterproof standards. The ID52 is a perfect companion for the ID705. Our family of favorite ICOM amateur radios are available this holiday season. The IC9700, IC7300, and IC7610 base stations, and the ID5100A mobile are the perfect gift. It's the most wonderful time of the year to give the gift of ICOM. For more information on ICOM radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur.
Well, thanks again, ICOM, for sponsoring Ham Nation. We really do appreciate it. Now, I know you're all wondering how you get that sweet radio. Yes, ICOM gives away a radio every month. All you need to do is go to the link in the description to join their giveaway. How it works is they pick 3 winners every episode of Ham Nation. They get a swag package or, shirt, hat, that kind of stuff. And then they get added to the giveaway list, and then they pick a winner at the end of the month. So for the ID52, we're going to give it away, and the next episode of Ham Nation will announce the winner. So if you want in on that contest, you need to go and enter right now, or, wait till the show's over. But the link is in the description, and that's how you join. So thanks again to ICOM for sponsoring the show. We really do appreciate it. Now I'm throwing it over to Don. Don, how's it going, buddy?
And it's the perfect time to give away a great radio like that because our next show will be just before Christmas. So it'll be absolutely perfect timing for that. We're doing great over here, Josh. Thanks for asking. Let's go ahead and jump right into the news of the week from Amateur Radio Newsline, shall we?
All right.
From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2301, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. We begin this week by marking a turning point in amateur radio history. The first transatlantic communications on the amateur portion of the spectrum 100 years ago this month. A video from the Antique Wireless Museum in New York celebrates the 1-century mark of what the museum is calling the Triumph of the Amateurs, which began with the first test on December 11th, 1921.
A dramatic video released recently by the Antique Wireless Museum tells how hams conceived of a historic test in 1921 that showed the world that the shortwave spectrum below 200 meters was anything but useless when it came to sending messages across the ocean. This was the now famous transatlantic test project. In a 1-hour video, Ed Gable, K2MP, and Mark Ertl, AE2A, tell how the amateur spirit of experimentation put ham radio station 1BCG on the air with a tube-based transmitter on 1.3 megahertz. The CW transmission from Connecticut by the Radio Club of America was successfully copied in Scotland. As hams prepare to reenact that day on its anniversary using a replica of the original transmitter, hams everywhere can learn all about the moments that made history on 160 meters. Find a link to the YouTube video in the text version of this week's newscast on our website, arnewsline.org. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Who doesn't love the thought of a better, more powerful transmitter? You don't even have to be a ham. In the UK, an upgrade has been made at Radio Caroline, a once notorious pirate radio station, leaving the station feeling loud and proud.
If you can hear the new high-powered signal of Radio Caroline on 648 kHz AM, you can thank its new 25 kilowatt transmitter, a Harris DX25U, which is a nice step up from the station's older 10 kilowatt Nortel model. The station manager Peter Moore writes on the Southgate Amateur Radio News website that the station is keen to know how much further its signals are reaching these days. He asks for reception reports to be sent to help the crew achieve even more improvements. You can find a link to the reception report at radiocaroline.co.uk. Peter said, quote, "Now the new transmitter is in service, covering a much larger area than before, we hope to reconnect with more of our listeners from the past," end quote. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
All hams know that public service is a big part of what we do, but it isn't always done holding a radio.
When the Great Cycle Challenge rolled out in October to raise funds to find cures for childhood cancers, the Bendigo Amateur Radio and Electronics Club was ready for this month-long bicycle-based event. This time, however, members weren't stationed along any particular route, as hams often are during one-day events. They were on the road themselves throughout the month, pedalling more than 600 kilometres towards their financial destination. The club reports that the Barrick Pedal Radio Group's efforts helped raise nearly 1,400 Australian dollars for the cause, adding their total to the national fundraising total, more than $6.9 million. Of course, that's not to say there wasn't some kind of radio involved. Barrick Pedal Group member Graham Knight, VK3GRK, said afterward in a press release, and I quote, "Some of our radio club members enjoy bike riding, and some of us even use radios to keep in touch with others whilst out riding." End quote. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Jack Parker, W8ISH, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.
And that'll do it for Ham Nation tonight. We don't have, or rather for Amateur Radio Newsline on Ham Nation, we don't have Dr. T with us tonight. As I said, she's getting all prepped up, getting her brain in gear for a big academic thing going on tomorrow. So be sure to follow her on Twitter at Tamitha Skov, and of course spaceweatherwoman.com, and her YouTube channel as well. Just simply named Tamitha Skov, and you keep up with all the solar goings on. Amanda?
Thank you. I think it's now time to talk Christmas.
Oh, boy.
It's a fun time of year. And we have a fabulous guest on tonight. I'd like to welcome Peter Thompson, KE5GGY. And he has a huge fan base in the chat room. They're like, bring on Pete. Where's Pete? We want Pete. So
yes, they're very loyal.
He's here, you guys. So you're part of the 3916 net. And you guys do something special every year. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you.
Well, thank you, and it's great to be here. I think this is like our 5th or 6th year on Ham Nation, but every year on 3916, we connect good boys and girls, and occasionally some bad ones, that's okay too, with Santa at the North Pole. And it's a great experience. It started, in fact, I was just thinking about this earlier tonight, Amanda. 16 years ago, my son was 9, and it started with me and another operator one night relaying in the voice of Santa for our respective children. And from there, each year, progressively it grew. Now we've got 12 relays strategically positioned around the country that relay in the voice of Santa. We'll connect over 1,000 children this year was Santa at the North Pole. So it's really grown, and it's grown because of the 3916 nets, and also just the enthusiasm of operators and parents and most of all the kids. So every night we start at 7 p.m. Central. There's a website you can go to check in ahead of time. That's cqsanta.com. cqsanta.com, and that opens up every night at 6 p.m. Central. But it's a really efficient system. We've gone from being really clunky at the beginning to now we're able to connect a child with Santa and have that QSO in a little under 2 minutes. So think about that, and it's really because of the great team that we have at 3916. So it's every night through and including Christmas Eve. 3916 is a great place. I don't know if anybody is aware of what we're doing, but it's a very friendly spot on 80 meters. I remember when I first got my ticket back in 2005, I was studying for the code and tuning across 80 meters, and 3916 just jumped out at me because it was so friendly. So I started hanging around there, and they haven't chased me off yet. So 3916 every night starting at 7. We've got some pre-nets. We do trivia every night at 9, which is what the 3916 peeps are waiting for me for. And then at 10 o'clock is our kind of our anchor or heritage net called the Freewheelers. And you get more information on our nets at 3916nets.com. But it's fun, and 16 years of doing this, Amanda. We've had a lot of different situations, some rather crazy times with kids. Several kids. I think last year we had one child request or ask for a .50 caliber gun. We've had several swimming pools, and we're very good at making sure Santa tells some of the kids that he may have to talk to the parents about that .50 caliber gun. But in a second, I know you may have some questions of me, but in a second, I'm going to use the magic of radio to try to get Santa remote from the North Pole. So any questions from your part that I can answer?
Just again, you've already said you're doing this 16 years. Josh is going to pull up the CQ Santa website right now.
Okay.
And we're going to show a pretty cute video. But first, my question, how many children do you think you talk to each Christmas season?
Well, it's been under 1,000 for the last couple of years, but because of some improvements that we've made in the sign-up portal, and also the way we find out what operators are hearing the children better, I think we're going to be well over 1,000 this year. So it'll be 1,000 children plus for 2021.
Oh, wow. Well, we really, really want to see Santa next, but Josh is going to show us how excited some of these children are.
All right, let me see if I can get the big man. I'll be back in a minute.
You go ask them, pull a favor or two. And this is so cute, everyone. Pay attention. They're so excited.
November 2, Papa Charlie. Yep, we got you 5-9. Yep, we got Jessa here. Here she is. Say hi, Santa.
Hi, Santa.
It's pretty cold up here in the North Pole. I've been working hard. I need to take a break and talk to one of my kids. I'm checking my list right now. It looks like boys. It looks like they're all on the good anyway. So, Jessa, I'm just curious, what would you like for Christmas?
I want fidgets for Christmas.
Oh, Roger. A lot of people want to write that down right now. Give me a second as I write that down, because I don't want to forget what you really are looking for. And I appreciate it. Also, you to be good at all the school, and I was glad of that. And I think we had some of in the chat. Avery,
come here, Avery. Yep, we've got her right here. She's just being a little mic shy. Let me see if I can grab her.
Mic shy.
Answer for it? She would like
a toy unicorn.
Oh, boy. Well, I got good unicorn now, and we'll see what we can do for you. I have one other request for you. If possible, Santa really does like chocolate chip cookies and chocolate milk. You're able to read some for me. That'll be wonderful. One cookie is good enough. Several of my favorite kids' favorite cookies.
Say yes.
Healthy ones.
Healthy ones.
Yes, healthy cookies.
Oh, Roger, thank you so much. And one other thing, before we go, I have to get back to work, but before we go, can we have you say, oh, Merry Christmas?
You say ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
1, 2, 3, over.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Merry Christmas to you, too. Let me pass it back to the operator, Tim, and color on the screen. That was you, Papa Charlie. Was that a good contact, Jason? Over.
10-4, roger that. Yep, got him 5-9 and had a blast. Thank you once again.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
It is Santa.
It's me. How you doing there, Amanda?
Fantastic. I do have one huge question. Did she get her toy unicorn?
Oh, of course. We worked hard at it. We had to trap that unicorn. It took a while, but yes, it was great. I got to check and see if you're on the good kid list, Amanda. Let's see. Yes, you're good. I see a little mark here by Valerie. Okay, we have some things to talk about. Let's see. And Don, not looking so good this year, but Josh, you've been good.
No surprise there,
no,
Santa.
you guys need some work here. But anyway, what else can Santa answer for you tonight?
I don't know. Josh, do you have anything you'd like to ask Santa for Christmas?
I don't know. I'm pretty down with those fidget spinners. We should double up some of those for me too, Santa.
Oh, it's on the way. We always like to send good gadgets to you.
Valerie, what do you want it for Christmas?
Uh-oh. I think the naughty.
Sorry, I'm muted. You know what? I don't really need a lot. I'm loving life. I'm good.
That's good because you're on the bad girl list, so you're not getting much.
What about you, Don, if you could ever think about asking Santa for anything?
You know what? I have found my birth family the last couple of 3 years, so I'm good. I have everything that I could ever want. I don't need material stuff. I'm good.
Oh, dude, that's so sweet. Now I have to come up with something better. Santa, I'm not going to wish for world peace because I know that's not going to happen, but I do wish for people to just not be jerks so much and to love your family more and see them more. So that's what I wish for.
I've been joking around a little bit with you all, but we've had some tough times in our world, and one thing that ham radio does is it brings everybody together. So I just want to encourage you to get on 3916 every night starting at 7 o'clock Central, and we'll forget the troubles of the day and just be together through the magic of Christmas and the magic of ham radio.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I take it. Well thank you so much, Santa, and Merry Christmas. And you got
ho ho ho! I gotta go. Lots of work to do.
All right.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Thank you,
By
Santa.
now I seem
Merry
to be
Christmas,
disappearing.
Santa.
I'm not sure what's going on, but see you next year. Ho ho!
Need
needs
more
to get his
cookies and
elf.
milk. More
Elves,
cookies
get
and
those
milk.
elves in there to help him out.
See right through him. I felt a little underdressed, so I decided maybe that'd help me get back on the bad.
Now we have a guest. I didn't know Andy was in the room. Dang it. He definitely was getting coal. Hi, Andy.
You guys recognize this guy, Andy?
Yeah.
Don't be Mike shy.
How you guys doing? Andy,
Hey,
Alpha Zero Whiskey X-ray.
How you doing,
Good to
Andy?
see you.
Doing good.
Oh, it's fantastic to see you
Keeping me
on, brother.
safe down here, keeping the men away since I'm without husband till Jerry will be here in 10 days. So.
Yeah. And hot blonde in Florida, I'll tell you what, he has to keep 2 clubs on him.
Maybe there's probably a lot more single women down here, right? He's having fun.
Well, Josh wanted to recap on Thanksgiving, and I should have mentioned everyone that we're so sorry. Gordo couldn't be here, Randy or Joe, but Josh did a pretty cool thing the day after Thanksgiving Day. So I wanted him to show that off because it looked like a fantastic time at the beach. So take it away, Josh.
I'm filling in, so I guess I'm handling it's an even short shot, if you will.
Yeah, you should have been wearing shorts so you have the short
Yes.
I wasn't on the beach. I think my kids might be. But anyway, if you want to see a longer form of this, I posted a video on my channel that's actually a video. But I've got some pictures. Gordo sent me some, and I put in some of my own. That's Bolsa Chica State Beach, and literally it's that empty when they got down there. They arrived a little bit before us because they're running the whole Thanksgiving spread. And here's Chip getting his antenna ready. Got a lot of questions on that antenna, and I'll get some info from Chip and Gordo as well when he returns. But they definitely had it up and running by the time me and my boys and I got down there. Here's Chip. A lot of questions on his antenna. It's a series of telescopic poles that he runs a wire Yagi on. And this wire Yagi is for 15 meters, and he also had a dipole for 20 meters. Here they are setting up their mag loop antenna. That is a Chameleon mag loop and I think that was a Kenwood that Chip is operating on. And you can see the mast is literally on the right-hand side. That white mast is literally just hammered into the sand, and it's an Armstrong rotor to tune that up. A lot of Bioenno batteries, a lot of big batteries. I think Gordo had a homemade 50-something amp hour battery that he had, which is really impressive. And there's Gordo, literally rotating the antenna for Chip, which is pretty funny.
In shorts.
So yes, we had there's your short shot. Very good. Yeah, more activate. And if you look far enough out, that's PV, that mountain that's out there, and you can start to see the container ships. They were really backed up. There's some more container ships behind me. My two boys, Ben is on the right, Edison is on the left. Ben looks like he's just loving Daddy dragging him out to the beach on Thanksgiving. Same picture, just a little bit wider. More oddly enough, Gordo didn't get a ton of the shots of the container ships, it looks like. But in my video, you can see them. They're just stacked up out there. I did bring my 705, though, and my Buddy Stick Pro, as well as my PowerFilm solar panel. So, of course, I had to try to run FT8 from the beach. So here's my my Tough Book that doesn't mind a little bit of sand. So that worked out all right. Here's us. Looks like getting set up. You can see same kind of shot. We're looking down, or I guess north from the vantage point of where we were at. Another shot there. I guess I had similar pictures of me operating. But there's my Buddy Stick Pro in the background that I was using just my backpack as kind of a ballast. And the kids got bored with the radio, and they're way off in the background. You can see them playing. There's Ben. And Chip operating. Did a lot of CW, a lot of single sideband. I often make portable operations complicated. POTA's great. I love doing POTA, but I really like the tradition that Chip and Janet and Gordo and Susie have out here. Just having fun with radio, just making contacts, logging on paper. It was really beautiful. And the turkey's going in. That's really what this is all about. They call it the Turkey Bowl for a reason. There's that fully set up antenna, 15 meters. Looks like beaming north or south. I think that's actually north. South. I think that's south pointing. Little Armstrong rotation. And this is either set, I think this is set up, but same concept. That's a 12-pound with the mast. It's about 12 pounds. So it was really easy for us to quickly just pop it down, change the element when Chip wanted to go from 15 to 20 meters. And there's some more of those ships in the background. You can see them, little square dots on the horizon. There's a shot of the wire Yagi on the telescopic rods for anybody that was curious. I got a lot of questions on that, so hopefully that's a good answer to those questions. Another shot of that antenna. You can see those rods. I'll have to ask. I'm assuming they're fishing rods, really rigid fishing rods that Chip picked up. And there's the shot from the beach. So yeah, it was really beautiful. I can't say enough. What a wonderful tradition. They said they've been doing this for many years now, and I think it's just great. I don't know how I can trick my family into adopting a tradition that includes ham radio for the holiday, but it was beautiful. Bolsa Chica State Beach. Yeah, in Southern California.
Okay.
Well, I'm just amazed that there was like no one else on the beach.
There were some people that kind of came by. A couple of people said hi. You know what? The most traffic you usually get on the beaches down here in the wintertime is there is a wonderful bike trail that runs north and south pretty far down, and people were just kind of going up and down, having fun, leisurely little rides. We had the New York Times come out. They did a news piece on it, which was nice, but it was just a quiet little event, and the wind was there. People were worried about the wind. It was there in the beginning, but then it just kind of quieted down. It was really still, which was interesting for me. I was really worried about it because when I was driving in, tons of wind. Got there was a bit of wind. It died down, and then when I left, tons of wind again. And so Chip was hypothesizing that we had kind of two fronts that were kind of hitting right about where we were at and just nullified the wind, which I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So it was great. It worked out perfect.
Sounds fabulous.
Nice.
They were really worried about it before, so it didn't even sound like it was going to happen. So I'm glad you guys got on the air.
Yeah,
How long were you on for?
I was only there for about 2-3 hours, but I believe they stayed well into the evening. I guess the tradition winds up with, if you saw the pictures, in fact, I'll go and show it again just so everybody can see that. Those are fire pits, those big concrete circles, those donuts. And they wrap up the event with a bonfire and roasting wieners, from what I understand. A little wiener roast there. So that's how they wrapped up the turkey bowl. Not enough leftovers because that fried turkey looked amazing. So I'm assuming they had to go to hot dogs.
I bet.
So yeah. Okay, everybody. Well,
good stuff.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, I think we're done. Let's do an around the room. Val, thanks for coming out again. I really do appreciate it. Anything you want to mention for this weekend or anything coming up?
Yeah, again, that 10-meter contest. And
right.
I haven't been on the contest site because I don't know if you can see, that's my new ham shack. It's kind of wimpy compared to my one up north, but does the job. Especially down here in Florida, the propagation is amazing. But I've just been busy on the house and not on the air very much. I'm hoping start of the new year I can do that. But hope to be on more too now that things are winding down on the rehab here at the house. So hopefully you'll see a little more of me on the show.
Excellent. We look forward to that.
Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Don, love the hat.
Thank you. I felt underdressed, and so I figured I'd better snag this and get back on the good boy list. I'm hoping to be able to do a little bit more operating now too, but now that I'm semi-gainfully employed, working 10-hour days, it doesn't leave much time during the day to do any radio, but I'm going to try to get on the air a little bit more coming up. So that's
Amanda,
that's about it from over here.
Well, thank you for being on again, Don. We do appreciate it. And Amanda, what's going on with you this weekend? Anything fun?
Finally, last weekend, my sister came in from Santa Barbara, so we were not having any radio time. This weekend, I'm definitely getting on the radio. I love to call CQ and just talk to anyone. Anyhow, I wanted to say that a lot of people mentioned that they talked to Chip. I didn't see a lot of Gordo, but I made contact with Chip on the beach. So we do have a lot of fans that went out there and said hello to you guys at least over Thanksgiving. So we appreciate that. Glad they got a chance to work you. What else?
Nets.
In the coming weeks, we're going to try to have some nice guests here to say Happy New Year in 2 weeks, and that's going to be December 22nd, I believe it is.
That's right.
So stay tuned for that. And other than that, let's go over some nets that we're going to have this evening. We got D-Star on 14 Charlie, DMR on 31012. I just saw 38-35 for 75 meters, and I believe Steve is, Kevin's going to be on 7192 thereabouts. Listen for his wonderful voice out of Florida, and you guys can join in. So with that, I think we're done tonight.
We did it.
Thank you, Josh. Great
thank
show.
you, everybody.
Great guest, Valerie. I just can't thank you enough for having the Bouvet team on. This is amazing. It's a go again.
Great segment. Great segment.
This one works. They really do.
We hope
I
you.
These all are safe, and they make lots of contacts, and it's a good Dxpedition.
I'm ready. I think everybody is. I think it's time.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is the right one. So, all right, everybody. We want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure to go check out that link for ICOM America to get in on the swag giveaway, to then get in on the giveaway for the ID52. And the next time you'll see us, we'll be giving that radio away for, I guess you call it our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to wish you a big 73 to everybody, and I'll play you out. So thanks so much again. See ya.